or loving it. In the studio is Mr. Barrett, just barely in the studio.
Phew.
Came running in the door, and I made him jump right on.
You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll. I wanted to give you a little extra time this morning.
Well, I appreciate that.
So how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. It is. Are you enjoying the rain?
I am, actually.
Yeah.
It's amazing how quickly everything's greened up. I love it.
It went like last week. Well, in the last 5 days, the trees were not open. Then boom!
Yeah, they popped.
Yeah,
they popped.
Pretty amazing.
I love it. We needed it.
We did. So last week we were talking about all sorts of fun things.
I was actually going to sit down because I thought you were going to name specifically what we talked about last week. And I know that you absolutely have no clue what the heck it was we talked about last week.
Actually, we talked about liability.
Oh, there you go.
You didn't remember. You were waiting for me to remind you.
I'll do what I do for my son. Yay!
Yeah, we did. We talked about slander and libel and business insurance.
Yes, we did. Yes.
So are there business, obviously insurance changes depending on how risky your business is, right? If you are somebody that makes chimneys for a living, you carry a lot of liability.
Well, really, I mean, we recommend everybody carry liability. Yes, like along the lines of what you're saying, appropriate to the type of exposure you have. But really, we're in a society and an age where you really should just carry $1 million liability as a starting point if you're a business person.
$1 million. Yes.
You really should.
That's what a hot cup of coffee is going to cost you.
There you go. There you go. And the difference is really on the rating of the risk. So, $1 million policy for a Mason versus $1 million policy for an insurance office, two different things. Two totally different price structures, two totally different guidelines, different acceptabilities, different companies that are willing to write the risks. So there's a lot of variables at play there.
But does the same apply? I would think it would, to home insurance as well. If you have a home that's on within 100 feet of a river,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Does not matter. A lot of people think that, actually. It's interesting that you bring that up.
It's riskier. Well, you would think that the risk for the property that you own would be reflected in the insurance.
And it is. But a river or a pond or a stream or a lake, we don't care about those.
You don't?
No, because we look for dry hydrants. We look for hydrants that are connected so that all the fire department has to do is if there is a fire and they need to access water, they can plug and play like they can do on a regular hydrant in town. If it's water on a stream or a river or lake or pond, they have to draft. And drafting can take some time and involves a little more maneuverability. Maybe the fire guys will tell me you're crazy, but I don't make the rules. I just repeat them. So thank God.
Well, I was thinking more about flooding, the bank eroding away and the house falling in the river. Or whatever,
right.
know?
And interestingly enough, that does not have an impact on a homeowner policy.
Because flood insurance specifically affects. So if you're in a quote unquote floodplain, your policy is going to cover. You're going to need additional insurance.
I could walk you around St. Johnsbury and Linneville and point to different areas that. Okay, well, this is not a bad place to be. This could be qualified for the National Flood Insurance Program's preferred risk because the probability of flood is less. But if you're over here, God help you, you're in a special, high risk flood area, and your premiums are going to be astronomical. So.
You may or you may not know the answer to this, but I lived in Houston for years. That's where I met Donna. And we used to go down and stay in beach houses down there on Bolivar. And these are houses that are built up on piers, 15, 18 feet above the ground. Because of the movement of the water underneath, they have to have special insurance.
Absolutely,
for that.
They have to have flood insurance. And when you're that close to water and that on top of things, I can only imagine what that would be for pricing and everything like that. You think about one hurricane coming through with
you're done
with big ocean waves, you're toast.
In fact, the place that I'm talking about that we stayed in is actually no longer there.
Because of you, or because
no, because the hurricane that came through down there 4 or 5 years ago and wiped Galveston and Bolivar and all League City, Texas City, all those places got really damaged.
It's really tough, and it's a lot of pressure on floodplain management to really get an idea of the appropriate coverage, the appropriate risks, and when areas are considered flood prone repeatedly, then there's consideration of whether they should not build there again or whether insurance wouldn't even be offered again. So it's
So
an interesting little thing.
Are there no? Is there never an instance where you look at a house and you go, "Oh, this is like, this ground is going to move"?
Never. Never. No. The difference being whether we offer flood insurance or not because of any probability. I mean, in all reality, if you read the guidelines and some of the manuals that FEMA puts out, they'll tell you that everybody should have flood insurance.
Yeah. Well,
If I have flood insurance at where I'm at, my house, I had a client tell me the other day, because we're talking about flood insurance, and they were sitting really high up off the ground. They said, look, we don't need flood insurance because if something happens, this is where Noah's going to build the ark.
That's right. We're all. I'm in the same. We're at 1,400 feet.
Yeah.
We're not going to flood.
Exactly. So, wow, you really threw me off. I wasn't prepared at all, and you did bang, 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 bang.
I hit you with stuff, didn't I?
Good.
Well, these are questions that I was thinking about after we got off the air last week. It's interesting stuff.
It is, and it's always. A dialogue with your agent or company will always give you some insight as to the types of coverage you need, the types of exposure you have, that type of thing.
So what I have demonstrated here this morning is what I wanted our listening audience to know. If you have insurance questions, this is the guy to call.
I love that.
Yeah. The Barrett Agency, online at thebarrettagency.com.
Located Portland Street, St. Johnsbury. Phone number 748-5224. And we would love for you to visit our Facebook page, Barrett Insurance Agency.
And if you got questions, give them a call.
All right.
And I'll see you next week. I'm going to see if you remember what we talked about this week.
Oh, God.
See you then.
All right.